Hey, my name's Matt. I have a degree in kinesiology and I'm a certified personal trainer. I wanted to go through the difference between dynamic warm-up and passive. Make sure that you're doing your warm-up dynamically before power and strength, any activity generally. I see a lot of people do passive before they actually do active. And what I mean by that is a passive stretch is you're going into, let's say you're stretching the hamstring, and your quad is relaxed. This is a passive lengthening. What happens is you're stretching the muscle, you're not getting it ready to contract and be powerful. So depending on what activity you're doing, you got to make sure that you're dynamic. If you see sprinters in the Olympics, they're really not doing this passive type stretching. They're doing jumps, high knees coming up, trying to get their muscles ready to fire for power and sprinting. And most activity we do in exercising or sport is going to generate power or strength. So save the passive stretching for after your workout. So I'm going to go through a couple of general dynamic stretches you can do before. And I always think about stability before mobility. So let's do a plank first. We'll do some shoulder protraction, retraction, making sure your abs are engaged. You don't want your back to sink in here. You're going to squeeze the glutes, rotate the hips in, abs tight, like someone's going to punch you in the stomach. So here we're kind of engaging the anterior chain, basically from your shoulders all the way down to your toes. Alright? So then the protraction, retraction we're going to do with our shoulders. Get the shoulder stability there, everything warming up. The reason for active stretching or dynamic stretching is get the joints lubricated, your heart rate up, the muscles firing. We want to make sure we prevent injury. So now we're going into a side plank, getting the obliques, the QL working here, and shoulder stability. You don't want to sink into your shoulder here. Keep it tight. That's plank, both sides. Okay, stability a little bit before mobility. We'll get both sides there. Okay, you can also go up into your hands, not just your elbows. So now we're getting a little bit more muscles engaged with our triceps and shoulders. Same thing here, protraction, retraction, a little bit of warm up there for your shoulders. All right, let's say we go to our side plank again. Make sure you're stable. You can drop the hip a little bit more movement. Okay, making sure the core is engaged, ready for exercise. Okay, so we'll go from there. Let's get our legs warmed up. So the dynamic stretching is working your agonist and stretching your antagonist muscle. So if I'm doing a high cross knee to elbow, right knee to left elbow, I'm getting my abs, obliques, hip flexors, and quads working. But when I'm coming across here, alright, I'm stretching all this, erectors, glutes, hamstrings a little, okay? So we're going across, it's active, it's dynamic, okay? Muscles are working. We'll go opposite now, heel to butt, okay? When I go here, I'm opening up the hip flexion and the quad, engaging the hamstring and the glute and my erectors and my lower back, okay? Now we're going to go to high kicks, toy soldier, rangerettes, whatever you want to call this. And we're still going cross body. I want to get your obliques and abs into this. Get your rotary muscles ready to work, especially if you're playing tennis or golf. So I'm going across, straight leg raise. This is blocking out the quad, putting in a shortened range. Okay? Hamstrings and your gastrocnemius, flex your foot back. Alright, so we go there with the high kicks. I'm going to stabilize myself and try to balance. We're just doing hip swings, adductors and abductors. We're trying to get those warmed up. It's hard for you to balance. You can be here. Okay. And then we hit the shoulders a little bit earlier, but let's get back into that. I want to make sure you're kind of on your toes and hopping. We're going to do big arm circles, both directions. Then crossing in front, pulling in back. So when I come in front, I'm engaging the pec, serratus, anterior delt, stretching the rear delt and the lats a little bit. Okay, on my toes, getting my calves warmed up, and as you can tell, heart rate's coming up, and I'm increasing my temperature. lubricating the joints. The last couple I want you to do, especially if you're running, we want to open up the hip flexors, but we don't want to go down just to our knee and really get a deep stretch. I don't want you to do that. I want you to keep all the muscles engaged. I'm going to come down, reach back. So I'm stretching all the lat, all the way down, psoas, abs, hip flexor, and quad. But at the same time, I'm keeping my glute engaged here and all the muscles on my right leg engaged. Okay? Step back, switch sides, getting deep, reaching back here, step back. So you can do a couple of reps. I'm minimizing the reps so you won't have to watch the video forever. So the last one I want you to do is a big step out. We're going to go down and rotate. All right, as you heard my back pop there. Come back up, switch sides, down to the ground, and rotate up. Okay, now I'll go to a squat, open up the hip flexors. Now I'm just going to get here, go pretty deep, come back up. Make sure your knees are tracking over your toes. See, a lot of people will widen when they're coming in here. Now maybe it's a flexibility issue. Hopefully it's a movement pattern that they can fix in their head. So just opening up, engaging the external rotators and going down. Knees track over the toes, okay? I want to engage the back a little bit and get your shoulder mobility into it. You can grab a dowel or wooden stick, broomstick, or whatever. We're going to go here, about a 90 degree at the elbow, and then pop your arms up. Just a deep squat and coming back up. Okay? A couple of reps of those. Let's say we're doing about 5 to 10 reps of all of these. I'm going to take my right hand and put the small of my neck. The dowel is touching my head, shoulders, and my tailbone down here. So the leg that I'm going to throw back is my right leg. So my right hand goes up here, okay? Open up the shoulders. Balance on one leg, get your ankle mobility going and stabilize. I'm going to kick back with my right leg and come back up. Abs tight. So it's a balancing exercise, but it's also engaging a lot of your stabilizers, opening up your shoulders. And if I switch sides, same thing there. My right side's a little worse. Make sure that you're not opening up your hip. Try to keep your hips square to your shoulders. When you drop that left hip here, I'm hitting the external rotators on my right side for balance. Okay? So, I gave you a lot to choose from, but hopefully you're doing all that before your workouts or before sports, or especially if you're doing something that engages a lot of power. If you're going outside and mowing the grass or picking up, whatever it is. So make sure you warm up before you do any activity, whether it's around your house, exercising, or sport. If you got questions, you can email me at mblackwell@houstonian.com. Hope to see you next time. I do a workout of the week. Check it out weekly. Thanks for coming.